When Five Nights at Freddy's released in 2014, most people thought it was just a simple indie horror game. Sit in an office, watch cameras, survive till 6 a.m. But hidden inside the first game is something much darker. 5 children disappeared inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Their bodies were never found, and players quickly realized something terrifying. The animatronics might not be robots at all. Today we're uncovering the disturbing mystery hidden inside FNAF 1. No future games, no timeline theories, just the clues that started one of the most haunting stories in gaming. And trust me, the deeper you look into this game, the darker the story gets. The game takes place inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a small family restaurant filled with animatronic mascots. The main characters, Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, and Foxy the Pirate. During the day, these characters entertain children, but during the night shift, they move. Phone Guy gives the first explanation.
The characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night.
But this explanation raises questions. Why would stage robots need to wander the building? Phone Guy also reveals something disturbing. If the animatronics see you after hours, that they won't recognize you as a person and instead think you're an endoskeleton. And if that happens, they'll try to stuff you into a suit. But those suits contain metal animatronic skeletons, which means the result would be fatal. One of the most famous lines in the entire series comes from Phone Guy. He mentions something called the Bite of 87.
But then there was the Bite of 87.
Apparently one of the animatronics bit someone during the day shift. The victim lost their frontal lobe, but somehow survived. After that incident, the animatronics were no longer allowed to walk around during the day, which is why they only roamed the building at night. But the first game never tells us which animatronic caused it. Okay, this is where the story gets dark. If you look closely at the office walls, you sometimes see newspaper clippings. These articles reveal the biggest piece of lore in the entire game. Years before your shift, 5 children went missing at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. According to the article, a man dressed as a mascot lured them away, the children were taken into a back room, and that they were never seen again. The suspect was eventually arrested, but the bodies were never found. Then the article mentioned something horrifying. Customers reported a terrible smell coming from the animatronics. Some even claimed to see, quote-unquote, blood and mucus leaking from the suits. Players quickly connected the clues. 5 missing children, bodies never found, animatronics leaking fluids. The theory became clear. The killer hid the bodies inside the animatronic suits. But that raised another question. Why are the animatronics so aggressive? Why do they hunt the player every night? Fans came up with the most famous FNAF theory. The animatronics are possessed. The spirits of the missing children are trapped inside the robots. Throughout the game, you sometimes see strange hallucinations. Words appear on posters, on the walls, even directly on the screen. The phrase, "It's me." The phrase is never explained, but players believed it meant something. One of the spirits might be trying to communicate, trying to tell the night guard something, trying to say, "It's me." But that phrase appears most often alongside one character. Golden Freddy is one of the strangest things in the entire game. Unlike the other animatronics, he doesn't walk through the building. Instead, he appears suddenly in your office, sitting there, completely motionless. If you stare too long, the game crashes. Golden Freddy teleports, he causes hallucinations, and he's connected to the phrase, "It's me," which led players to believe something terrifying. Golden Freddy might not be an animatronic at all, and that he might be a ghost instead. From the clues in the first game alone, players believed the reason the animatronics attack the night guard is simple. They think you're the killer. Remember, the children were murdered by someone wearing a mascot costume. Now, you're a night guard wandering around the same building. To the spirits trapped inside those suits, you might look exactly like the person who killed them. So every night, they hunt you. On night 4, something terrifying happens. Phone Guy leaves one final message. During the call, you hear banging, movement, animatronic noises. Then the recording cuts off. Most players believe one thing. Phone Guy was killed by the animatronics, which means you're not the first night guard to work here, and you might not be the last. What makes Five Nights at Freddy's so brilliant is that none of the story is told directly. It's hidden, in tiny clues scattered throughout the game. And yet, from those clues, players uncovered one of the most disturbing stories in gaming. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe the animatronics were trying to kill the night guard, or were they trying to find their killer? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see the lore from FNAF 2 explained, subscribe, because the story only gets darker from here.